voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
The mistake really is there's too much BS floating out there, and now it's out of our hands. There's no way to control it, so now they're saying they're going to control it. I want to see what they're going to do.
My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex.
All right.
What'd she say?
It's been a while since we last checked on the chaos coming out of The View, and honestly, nothing has changed. Same heated opinions, same exaggerated takes, just another day. But this time they finally got called out, and the people doing it were the last duo anyone expected. Bill Maher and Karoline Leavitt somehow joined forces and completely shut the whole thing down. So what exactly were The View hosts saying, and how did Bill and Karoline respond with the perfect mix of humor, facts, and brutal honesty? Buckle up, because this one gets interesting fast.
To get past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
You might be wondering why Bill Maher has been pushing for cooler heads between opposing sides of politics lately. The View hosts clearly aren't pleased with what they see as Maher gradually drifting rightward, but what truly pushed them over the edge was his recent dinner with President Trump. During a recent episode, Whoopi Goldberg went after Maher for simply sitting down with someone they treat like public enemy number one. She was so worked up she refused to even say Trump's name out loud.
Listen, take him seriously and take him literally.
I don't think that we have to. I think it would be remiss of us to not say Joe Biden knows how to do this. Yes, he knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean
he rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just.
But can I mention one thing?
Whoopi's reaction was just the beginning. The conversation rapidly escalated into a full-blown attack on Bill Maher himself, with the panel unable to accept that he crossed what they considered a serious line. To Whoopi and the others, this wasn't just a casual dinner, it was an outright betrayal. In their view, no explanation, no humor, and no attempt at honest conversation could possibly justify the fact that Maher chose to share a table with the person they consider the ultimate political villain.
How dare you be so flippant, man? Listen, nobody on the planet really wants to go through this. This is not something we're doing because it's, you know, gratifying. This is what we're doing to protect our families. And you don't have to do it, but stay away from everybody.
If you know anything about Bill Maher, you already knew he wasn't going to stay quiet. Right on cue, he fired back during a recent episode of Real Time, going directly after Whoopi and everyone else losing their minds over his White House dinner. Using the sharp wit and sarcastic delivery he's built his name on, Maher dismantled the outrage piece by piece and made one thing crystal clear: he doesn't need anyone's approval, and he certainly isn't asking for it. Maher, confident, blunt, and completely unapologetic.
You know, 12 days ago I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every.
Before delivering his on-air takedown, Maher laid his position out plainly. He reminded people that this is still America, where democracy allows differing opinions without turning everyone into enemies. Disagreeing with someone shouldn't trigger non-stop anger and hostility. People can see the world differently and still have a conversation. It's called civil discourse, something Maher suggested the View hosts seem to have forgotten entirely. He wasn't just defending himself either. He was defending the idea that political disagreement doesn't have to feel like personal warfare. Sounds reasonable, but apparently not to Whoopi, who reacted as though his words were aimed directly at her.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
I know as I say that, millions of liberal sphincters just tightened. Oh my God, Bill, are you going to say something nice about him? What I'm going to do is report exactly what happened. You decide what you think about it. And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't give a
Whoopi even went as far as comparing Trump to Kamala Harris, which only made her reaction appear more politically one-sided. It gave the clear impression that her real issue wasn't Maher having dinner with a political figure, but specifically which political figure it was. Had it been Kamala Harris instead of Trump, her reaction would likely have been completely welcoming. That contrast was impossible to miss, making the entire response feel less about principle and more about partisanship, exposing a glaring double standard in how the situation was being judged.
I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid on a regular basis. It just happened to coincide.
This is exactly why so many people respect Bill Maher. He doesn't just talk about free speech, he actually lives by it. Even after Whoopi called him out publicly on national television, Maher held his ground and didn't budge. That kind of backbone is rare, especially since Whoopi's comments drew backlash from all sides, with some even calling for her to step down. But Maher didn't play the victim. He stuck to his principles, doubled down, and still closed things out with a few sharp remarks of his own.
Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Did Bill Maher really compare Whoopi Goldberg to a hunter and himself to a lion? That's certainly what it sounded like. Say what you want about Maher, but he knows how to land a line. In his telling, Goldberg came in swinging, ready to frame the dinner as a betrayal, while Maher positioned himself as the one under fire, responding with humor and quick comebacks she clearly didn't expect. By the end, the dynamic looked far less one-sided than it started. And just as Maher was stepping back, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt was stepping forward with a response of her own.
We have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex, and all of this other BS.
Karoline Leavitt delivered sharp criticism of what she sees as modern woke ideology's growing influence across society, arguing it has shifted from empathy and progress into division and censorship. She claimed media, universities, politics, and even healthcare have been shaped in ways that prioritize ideology over facts and practical solutions. She also pointed to Whoopi Goldberg as a visible example of this mindset, suggesting her commentary reflects a broader pattern of silencing opposing voices rather than encouraging open and honest debate.
And the irony in all of this is that Joe Biden and the Democrats and these ladies on The View constantly say President Trump is the alleged threat to democracy, when in fact they themselves are wishfully thinking that President Trump will be in prison when he has not been convicted of any crimes. That is the real threat to democracy. Voters see that, and that's why President Trump continues his dominance.
Leavitt didn't hold back on the panel either. She accused The View hosts of repeatedly pushing biased narratives and presenting opinion-driven commentary as established fact, consistently framing political figures based on alignment rather than balanced analysis. She pointed to past praise for Joe Biden and strong support for Kamala Harris as clear examples of selective storytelling and media spin. According to her, this kind of coverage distorts public perception unfairly. When Whoopi responded in her usual style, Leavitt countered with a calm but pointed rebuttal that supporters described as particularly effective.
The mistake really is there's too much BS floating out there, and now it's out of our hands. There's no way to control it, so now they're saying they're going to control it. I want to see what they're going to do.
My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex.
Leavitt highlighted a clear contradiction between preaching tolerance and reacting with outrage over someone simply having dinner with a president she disagrees with, arguing that real leadership means standing by principles rather than bending to public pressure. The moment quickly gained attention alongside Maher's comments, with supporters viewing both as a strong pushback against performative outrage. For many observers, it became bigger than just a headline. It reflected a deeper divide in how public debate is handled today. If you enjoy straightforward commentary like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.